The Lemon Squeeze Show is here to inspire, empower, and illuminate women around the globe. As entrepreneurs, role models, warriors, the glue that holds families together, trendsetters, career women, and mothers of the earth, we face obstacles daily. We conquer the inevitable. We persevere beyond measure. And we flourish unapologetically. It's a fact that life will bring you lemons. It's a choice for you to make lemonade. Welcome to the Lemon Squeeze Show.
That's what JoJo knows. Well, she is fired up.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the Lemon Squeeze Show, y'all.
She showed up
The Women
today.
Squeeze.
It's your host, JoJo Knows, and the beautiful co-hosts, Constance B and Mizz 31, and we're back at it. A new week, new show.
That's
here
right.
at WPSN99.com,
Yes.
where we streamline solutions, y'all.
Yes.
How y'all doing?
I am doing great.
Me too.
How are you doing?
I am awesome, saucy.
Saucy?
Sauce?
Awesome, saucy.
I know that's right.
She got drip for sale.
You and this drip for sale. We don't really have
Well,
to
you
put it
got
on
drip
sale.
for sales, and you got peas you passing.
Yeah, I got
So you put
pass
it
the
together.
peas like you used to.
Girl, please don't start with them peas.
So while we're passing the peas and we have drip for sale, the topic of the day is self-love first. Or, maybe you disagree. But that is the topic. So, would you all say, or what would you rate your self-love?
To rate my self-love.
For
So, okay,
from
you know what?
1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Where are you?
So we're being honest right now, and I'm still working on a whole lot, but I love myself like a whole lot. So I will honestly rate myself at a 10.
Okay.
I will honestly rate myself at a 10. Doesn't mean that I ain't got no loose screws. But I love myself. I do love myself. And I've learned within loving myself to put my foot down on things that I don't want to accept for Constance and things that I do want to accept.
And you say you a 10.
Yeah.
We'll see at the end of the show.
I'm a 10 friend. I'm a 10 friend.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's great. But we'll see if you change it.
Oh.
What about
man.
you?
I'm very confident within myself, but there's things that I do want to work on. So I will give it a 8, 9, because it's things that I still want to work towards to make sure that I'm 100%.
Are you really ever 100%?
So good analogy here, or good, difference in opinions that I just want to tap into a little more. So you say you're not at 100% and rate yourself as an 8 or 9, and you say you're gonna keep it real, but you're not 100%, but you love yourself, so you're a 10. What's the difference, you think?
How one feels and looks at themselves. That's just how I see it.
I mean, because I have moments where I beat myself up a lot. So that's why I'm saying that I want to get to a point where I'm not beating myself up.
Do you
where
beat
I'm
yourself
okay.
up?
Beat myself up. I don't know.
Your face, I'm sorry. It was like, what you mean?
No, I mean, of course, like I push myself, when I feel myself being stagnant or certain things, but it's, for the most part, no. But I do push myself, and I can be a bit hard on myself at times, but yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. So the difference between beating yourself up and pushing yourself. And so what's the difference? Anyone?
I mean,
I just want to know. I'm just
pushing. Like, what was the question again?
she said, what's the difference
Like
between
you
beating
said-
yourself up and pushing yourself forward?
Oh, well, I think,
it's,
like,
again,
beating
how you
yourself-
look at yourself. It's
Yeah.
really how you look at it.
I think beating yourself up is really like coming down hard on yourself. Like this is for how I'm thinking.
Yeah.
No, this is just my own opinion. So for me, beating myself up, looking at the flaws in the mirror, like certain things on my face, like being so hard on like, oh, well, I don't like this. I'm so ugly. Or, this is so disgusting to me. Like picking myself apart.
mm-hmm.
Pushing myself is to me, okay, Constance, you know you want to get your certifications for your administrative license. You need to study more. You know you want to be able to own your own home, so you need to fix these things in your credit and push myself when I know that I'm being stagnant, when I'm just in one spot instead of going out there speaking or calling the people about things on my credit to get the things moved. Like, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Or being a better parent, I know I'm lacking in a certain department, but I'm not going to say, well, you're a horrible mother because, this, that. No, I know I need to do better. I know I need to focus more on my girls. And so that's where I come from with mine.
And the reason why I'm asking you, I'm not beating you all up, it's just that women really have this question. Actually, someone asked us this, to bring it up as a topic, and that's why I brought it. I was like, oh, this is something, that's one of the topics that I was like, nah, that's not for a Valentine's edition. That's something that we really can talk about and tap into, because self-love is so important. And then what truly is the definition of self-love? I understand both of you all's, where you're coming from, but when I actually saw the topic, I had to ask myself the same question that I'm asking you all. Is okay, as far as self-love, yes, I love myself. I can honestly say that I love myself, and I remember there was a time in my life that I did not love myself. Mm-hmm. And so yes, I do. But when this woman reached out and gave the topic, I did have to take a step back to say, now how much, do I love myself? Do I love myself like at a high 10 if that was the max? Or am I, still lingering some? And I actually had to admit that I was still, I wouldn't put myself as a 10. I'm with you on this one, Miss 31, because now, do I not love myself? No. But there are things or actions that I'm still doing that, to me, reflects that I don't love myself 100%, or I would not be still falling in the same things. Just like, I'll give you an example. I'm over here beating myself up, maybe not beating myself up, or like talking about, dang, why did I eat this? Why did I eat these nachos, right? And so I'm already at a point where, like, I've decided that I'm going to eat clean. You remember you asked me about French fries? I love French fries. And I'm like, okay, I can't eat French fries because I have this goal, and I have this desire, and I have this want. And so I know what it is that I'm seeking. And once again, I've fallen back from what the goal is. So at that moment, I forgot about loving myself more, and I ate the nachos, and I should have had hummus.
Well, if you rate yourself behind things like that, like I said, everybody.
If you would have loved yourself, you would have ate hummus.
If I would,
if you loved yourself at a 10, you'd ate hummus.
I think so. Like, for example, like when we, like being overweight. So you can't relate to this. So, but being overweight? No, you're not. Being overweight, right? And loving yourself means like I love to go on IG and I see that woman who was 300 pounds and she now 150. And or the what I mean, like the
right.
people, and they actually put in the work to get there, right? And then here I am. I start, y'all see, we talked about this before. Y'all see me walking on my altitude, and then all of a sudden, and I'm really not walking anymore. I'm just being honest. But I need to love myself that much too, because I have a goal and a desire at hand, at task that I want, but not really wanting enough to where I actually do the footwork. It's like, how bad do you want it? So if I love myself so much, then I should want it that much more, and I should do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm looking at it from.
It all goes together.
I guess I'm looking at it like this: like when you're aware, right? So you want to do better. That's that saying: when you know better, you should do better, right? Right. So because I know that I need to fix this, and I'm actually going towards, we all veer off. Nothing's going to be perfect, It's not going to be perfect at all. But the fact that you're conscious enough to know that, hey, I need to tighten up in this, and then you are actually actively doing so with every now and then, might eat a little something that you probably wasn't supposed to. But then you bounce yourself back and you get back on track. You love yourself that much enough to know I can't stay on this side because it's unhealthy and I know what I'm battling with. So you jump back on.
Which is why I gave it a meter. Because think about it. Like, if you weren't able to jump back on, I think you'd be in the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. You know what I mean? But now you're at a place, like you said, I'm in a good place. So the way I process it, which, obviously you think differently than me, but where I process it is, okay, I remember when I was at a 0. Then my meter started going to the median. And I agree with you. Like, where I'm at in my life, I'm busting down like 8, 9, 10. Like, I'm over there. But the 10 that I see when as far as my self-love goes is when I get to that place where it's somebody eating fried French fries, and I've set a goal for not French fries. It's no French fries. Or it's,
and these
the
are just
credit
small
card.
things that we're bringing. It's a whole whatever
the credit
yours
card.
is.
The credit card. It's supposed to be beyond not 30%.
Right.
And I'm able to say, no, I love me enough to say no to buying that new bag that's going to mess my credit up or take me over that peak. Or that guy, take it even deeper. This is not me, but, you're involved with someone who is no good for you. And so when you're at a 10, you know your worth, and like, ain't no way in heck I'm even entertained.
Exactly.
But when you're at an 8 or a 7 or a 9,
and still,
if
you're gauging numbers, I mean, that's still a pretty decent, I guess if you're gauging with numbers, that's a pretty decent place to be, because at least you're like still fighting and working. Like, I rated myself a 10 on it simply because I know the battles that I've overcome. And so to let it go, and I still have things I'm working on, and as life goes and grows, there are going to be other different obstacles, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
It's just to the point now where I can it's things that I've overcome that I didn't think I was going to be able to, and now I'm looking at life and I'm like, wow, I'm good. Still got a lot to go, but you can't just come up to me and it's going to be an okie doke. Like, it's not like that.
Right.
With multiple situations.
So I guess the question is really like, is it levels to self-love, or is just either you love yourself or you don't?
I think there's levels.
It's levels.
There's levels to it, because I feel like I was saying earlier, why I say I'm at like an 8 or a 9. Since I was younger, I've dealt with things like at home where I've never been a small girl, like, ever. But I've overcome certain things. Like, you never hear anyone say, oh, this plus size girl was Miss Varsity Cheerleader, which I was. But
I know that's right.
I did a lot of things for myself to show like I can do it. But, I love my mother. My mother is just very harsh. I, till this day, sometimes feels like she doesn't accept me because I'm not skinny. She says a lot of things to me that's very hurtful, very disrespectful. Maybe you would have this if you were smaller. You would be prettier if you were smaller.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
She tells me that all the time. And about a month or two ago, I just really had a heart-to-heart with her. And I said, Mom, you've been saying that to me since I was a kid. And I know I'm not like my sisters to where they're small and skinny, but I'm just as successful as them. I've actually accomplished a lot more than my sisters, So I don't know if it's how she was raised. My mom is old, she's older. So I think it's something that's happened in her childhood where someone has told her something where, like, you're not good enough unless you...
And she's processed it. It's okay to, like...
to talk to someone like that.
Right.
Because, she does it
You're
to
not just someone. You're her child. So that makes it even more...
She does it to all her kids, like...
She's very critical.
Of all of us. But for me, it has always been my weight.
Right.
Like, she told me I shouldn't cheer because people make fun of you when you're dancing and you're cheering, and you shouldn't do it because people talk about you. And I'm like,
good for you for still
I was
cheering.
like, I don't care.
That's
well,
awesome.
It motivated me because when I went out for it, the first time I ever went out for it, I actually became captain. I didn't start from the bottom. Like, I tried out like everyone else.
And your skills got you to the top.
And my skills got me to the top. Not once. She's never been to any of my games. When I became Miss Varsity Cheerleader, she wasn't happy. She was like, oh, well. Like, so my self-love for myself took a long time for me to say, like, it's okay. Like, that you're not like your sisters. It's okay that you're not this figure that everyone says you should be.
Right.
And I think that bothers her because sometimes she says things to me like, you're just too confident. Like, why are you so confident? And it's like, well, I need to. Like, if I don't love myself, who's going to love myself?
Right.
So it took me a long time to get to this place. But I do have moments where I really sometimes, because of how I was brought up, question myself like, maybe I'm not good enough for this because of this. Or maybe this is why this is happening to me because of this.
Wow.
So that's why I say, like, I'm at an 8 because I still struggle with that.
Right.
So I want to get to a point where
It's
it
no
doesn't
struggle no
period.
more.
Yeah, period.
That's what I'm. I think that's exactly
where
what
it's
I'm
at.
saying. Like why I put myself in the same boat with you. There's some areas that I could say I'm at a 10.
Like
Yeah.
you said, the levels. It's levels.
Right. And then
to-
there's some that, okay, I have not reached the peak
right
of self-love, like at its full magnitude.
where you
Right.
can.
And that's
just
what I'm still
be.
striving for. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's pretty much goes if we're doing it as in levels. We all are still working. That's why I kept
Right.
saying like I'm still working on things, but
Yeah,
from
we're
an
on the same place.
overall, if I look at everything and see how far I've come and what I don't allow and what I stand for and I stand on it, then so.
yeah.
But that's awesome that you shared that because
Yes.
I was on the total I totally was on a different side of the fence when it came down to how I was brought up. Like my aunt, like we never looked at size. They never talked to me about stuff like that. And we have all shapes in our family.
Mm-hmm.
But for the girls, it was always really important for my aunt and my grandmother to let us know, like, hey, you are beautiful. When we had this
Yeah,
conversation
we did.
before, it's like that was like they pushed that. Like, you are beautiful. And if you don't think it and if you don't know it, then no one else is going to tell. I mean, people can tell you, but then the minute they don't, then you're freaking out because you don't really know it and believe it for yourself.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty rough thing, especially when your mother constantly tells you, she always says, you're pretty. I just wish your body matches your face.
Oh my gosh.
So she says things like that to me. And then she'll say, I'm not saying it to be hurtful. I'm
just being-
saying it because I want you to be the best you. And it's just like, well, that is hurtful because you're telling me that
Right.
I'm only pretty if I'm a certain size. And I had to learn, like, no, I'm pretty because I'm pretty. I had to
because
teach.
God created you.
Yeah, no,
And
so
that's just what it is. You're
'Cause I
beautiful
told her-
beyond pretty.
I told her, I was like, it's the same thing as saying I'm pretty for a black girl, or you're pretty to be a white girl, or you're pretty to be tall.
That's
you
so
know?
true.
It's the same thing, and like I said, she's that way because somebody did her that way, because she
Right.
doesn't really see the fault in it. She's just like,
That's a good point.
Right.
Because I know growing up with my mother, my mother really didn't give all the affectionate, and I don't recall her even like kind of saying, neither side, like pretty, oh, you're beautiful, Joe. Like she didn't do that. But one thing that she did do, not realizing, is that she loves me through things.
Right.
And so, whenever she was showing her love, we went to the store to go shopping.
right.
And
right.
so, and if you all think about my personality and stuff, it'll kind of intertwine in.
Right.
But when I was younger, when I didn't love myself, the only thing that mattered to me were items. Like when I felt down, I had to go shopping. In order for me to feel at my highest, I had to go shopping. I had to receive gifts and things like that was what, identified love for me. Until one day I finally realized that, wow, like I identify love as gifts or shopping
Right.
or things.
I remember we had
And-
that conversation and we were both of us, I think, got a aha moment, like, oh snap, that is why I'm the way I am, because
Exactly.
of yeah.
But when I got to that place of like realizing that I really don't love myself, I had to really take a step back, one, and be honest with my upbringing, which you are too, and also beginning to teach myself a different love, or loving myself outside of like things. It's not things, items, materials are not an example of love.
Right.
Like love is
Time.
The action.
your
Give me
self-esteem,
time.
your self-worth, believing in yourself, knowing who you are, knowing the things that you
Standing on
want,
it.
right? Not settling for things less than you deserve, you know, and it's okay because he bought you a bag, or it's okay because
he
he
still-
paid the bills. You know, when you come to a place where you love yourself, you want more for yourself.
Right.
And so, or nobody else can tell you, you know, about you, and it makes you feel less than.
Right.
Or it affects your self-esteem, and it affects your
And that's so
self-worth.
hard.
That is
Now
self-love.
that's when I don't know if we have time to talk about that part now or when we come back. But
Come
I know,
back.
All right, because that's
Keep
you
it-
hit on something like so
What-
heavy right there.
Can you do me a favor before we go?
Yes.
Give us a little secret, a little, you know, give us a little snapshot about what we can expect when we come back.
Well, you can expect to be able to hear how not budging on what you know that you deserve and what you believe in, and especially if it's nothing that's, you know, harmful or anything that is bad energy. So standing firm.
And we'll be right back. You're tuned into the Lemon Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com. Ow. And we are back. You're tuned into the Lemon Squeeze Show here at WPSN99.com, where our topic that we just left off is self-love first. And we talked about this on a break, but I just want to say, I don't know if you all can pay attention. I pay attention to energy and, you know, all that deep stuff. And this is a really deep topic for us. So I know when it comes to other women, our sisters and ladies out there, this is a deep topic for you as well as the men. Like, self-love is a huge thing. And so before we jump right in, because Constance B is going to kick us off, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I don't want to get too far in depth that we forget to do that. So
Yes. So let's give it up for Now Matters More, Journey Pure,
whoop, whoop.
and Retreat Behavioral Health.
And you're rocking.
And I'm rocking the Now Matters More
Yeah.
t-shirt.
right. Shout out to our
You
sponsors.
repping the long way.
Long way, extra long way.
Hey. So Constance B,
Yes.
where we left off, can you kind of go in more depth of that before we had to
Yeah, 'cause she was about to say
transition?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I was saying before we went on to our break was that a lot of times I guess we get around people who I guess they have a strong personality. And so it will kind of, I guess,
Shadow.
or overpower, you know, how you feel about yourself, because that's what it's all about. We're talking about self-love, and then getting around people, our parents, as we just heard from Brittany, or
It's okay.
so and how I was raised was totally different. And so now I'm at a place in my life where I am standing strong on how I want to be treated, you know, what I'm going to accept from anybody, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's, co-workers that I've had to work with before. And if I felt that they were treating me a certain way, I'm not a person to hold in how I feel, that, you know, how you're treating me. Because sometimes, believe it or not, some people are so accustomed to being a certain way that they really are just being themselves. But that doesn't mean that I got to accept you for being how
Exactly.
you are.
Right.
And guess what? I'm going to let you know that you are being offensive. And if you don't feel that you want to, or that you can just step back and say, wait a minute, well, even though my mom used to say this all the time, I am who I am, and that's not going to change. Until one day my sister and I both let her know that, listen, you keep saying that, but that's why we keep bumping heads. You want to have a good relationship with us, but you keep saying you are who you are and you're not going to change. So therefore, our relationship isn't going to change, because we don't like the way that you're talking to us. And so she sat back, and it took her a while, and she really came up and told us, like, you know what? I'm going to change that. And slowly but surely things started. So when I went through that situation is when I realized that you have to be vocal and tell a person, like, hey, this is bothering me. I don't like how you're talking to me. You may not even realize that you're talking to me sideways, but you are. And if you want me to continue to come around, or you come around me, then you're going to have to switch up how you talking to me, because I don't like how you handling me.
Yeah.
And then if they really love you, whether it's a friend, coworker, whatever, they really appreciate your time, you being around, they'll change.
No, you're right.
They'll slowly change, because they'll realize, you know what? She don't like that, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I agree with
and
you.
I've had
Well,
that,
some, not all people. Change,
and that's why
but
they go and they'll go. And
They
because
should change.
You know,
they should.
This year was the year I was supposed to go home for Christmas. I didn't go.
Oh, you spent Christmas
Yeah,
with?
I spent it with you. I didn't go.
And I told you how beautiful you were.
Yes. And I didn't go for that fact. My mother and I fell out. She was being disrespectful. And I said, I'm not going to come because I'm tired of every year I come home. We're arguing. I'm crying. And I only know that way since I was a kid.
Good
And
for
I said,
you.
I am too old to feel this way. So I didn't go home for Christmas. And it really made everybody change. Like, oh, she really didn't come. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to come. Y'all not going to keep making me feel like a piece of,
You're not gonna keep
Boo-boo.
pushing that
Like, you're
energy
not gonna
off
keep-
on me, and then I have to
Right.
change how I feel about myself because now I'm looking at me
Because,
different.
see, it's a toxic environment.
Good for
It's a
you.
toxic environment.
Can I say something before you go there? That is an example of self-love.
Right there.
Like loving yourself enough to say, you know what?
Taking myself out of this.
You're right. You ain't loving me how I deserve to be loved, so I won't be there.
Exactly.
That is a great example of what we're talking about. I just wanted to touch on
So, because I've noticed growing up that we've always accepted certain things and thought that it was okay until I actually moved away and start living on my own and not really being around it. And I'm like, that is not healthy. Like, we grew up in a very toxic, like, argumentative home where we think it's okay to cuss each other out and say these things and then we're going to be cool again. And it's like, no, I don't want to be that way. Like, you're my mother, you're my
No.
father, y'all my sisters. I don't want to feel that way. And so when I did, like I said, when I didn't come home, everyone's like, "Oh, well, we missed you and all that." And I said, "Well, now you understand. If we continue to act this way, I will not be there. Like, I will love you all from a
afar.
distance."
Exactly.
But I
Until-
love myself more to put
Right,
myself
because-
through that.
Right. Exactly.
I'm tired. Like I said, I'm tired. Every holiday, we are crying and fussing and fighting over what? Over nothing, and we are all we have. So that's why I said I'm getting to the point of where I can fully love myself, because for so long I thought it was okay to be treated that way, and that's why I feel in certain relationships
Yes,
I've
it trickles
allowed
down.
It does.
I've allowed men to do certain things to me and be okay with it, because I'm thinking,
That's how you identify.
right, how
Love.
you identify love. Like, it's okay to always sometimes argue, or
It's okay
let
he talks
somebody
you down or tells
Right.
you you're not beautiful, or you don't need to
Right.
eat that, or you don't look good in that. No.
And see, and it's so strange that it's people pick up on energy and vibes, and we were talking about that a few episodes ago about
Right.
the R. Kelly situation.
Mm-hmm.
People pick up on that, and if they, men and women, because it's women that play mind games just as well as men play mind games, and if they can sense your weakness, a real person is not going to play on your weakness. They'll build you up in that department because
Right.
they identified that, okay, this person is weak in that department. But a person that is out to whatever it is, get over in some kind of way, they will pounce on that weakness of yours. And then you, because you can't say they're making you feel, because it's no one controls that department but
Right.
you make yourself feel a certain way by continuing to let this happen.
Right.
So people like that, you have to watch out, because as soon as they know that you're weak and that you feel beautiful, well, they're with you. But then when they're cheating on you, well, because you didn't lose weight, or because you didn't do this, and well, no. Don't put your bad, flaws and faults off on me, and now
Right.
want to make me feel lower and lower.
Yeah.
But then when
No.
you love yourself, when somebody does come by and say, "Oh, you look big," or "Oh,
You're
you
skinny.
ugly," or something like that, it rolls off your shoulder when you know,
Like,
who
yeah,
you are,
I'm
and you love
fine.
yourself. Like, child, know what you must be blind.
Oh,
Like,
this beautifulness.
all right,
over
more
here.
cushion for the pushing.
I'm telling you, once you, and I can say I'm seeing it now. So anyone who thinks it's not possible, you just really have to pray. And everybody may not pray, but you have to do something to bring that
Change
energy,
the mindset.
your mindset, because
And then you will attract exactly
I'm
what you're
telling
supposed
you,
to have and
for
exactly
so
what you
long,
deserve.
for so long, I just thought I wasn't
Learn
good
life.
enough. Like, I would think like, oh, I didn't get that job because I'm big. Okay, he don't like me because I'm big. Okay, I'm not good enough for this because I'm big.
But then when you
Because
cha-
I was programmed that way,
Right.
growing up, that, oh, no.
You have to be a certain size.
You're going to be handicapped because you're not a size, 5'6".
Right,
No
right.
one wants to be with a girl who's like that, and
That's ridiculous.
I could, man.
People
I got
who say
stories.
hurtful things, don't you like have to look at them like you just said, like something's really wrong, something happened to my mom, she is so damaged and hurt. And that's what I look at when people are being so nasty, and I will have to watch my own self.
But that's
When I
because
get
you're in
so
a better
angry-
place of self-love. Because when you're not, like on the other end,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think, oh, what's wrong with them? You internalize that,
What's wrong with me?
wrong with me?
Mhm.
And so, whether we could go back to our relationships, like you just mentioned. Now, if you look at the relationships that you were in when you were younger and you were in a bad place and, you were broken, like it's clear. It's like so obvious now on the other side. Like, I know I didn't love myself because ain't no way in hell I would have talked to that. Ain't no way in hell I would have talked to that dude. He would have never had the time of day.
Exactly.
Couldn't even got my
Exactly.
phone number.
Oh my gosh.
That's
yes.
why. And when we were
That first
talking
phone
about,
call.
And just the whole play and like just settling for, that's why I said with so much, just settling for so much BS, because just like you, everything stems from your
Someone hurting
upbringing,
you, yeah.
your upbringing, and in my upbringing, for me, when it came down to men, I just wanted that time.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So the time is what I was missing because I didn't have that with my own father. So for
Right.
me, time is a big thing. If we spend in time, we don't even have to spend money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
time.
But
you being
can I say this?
around.
But when you love yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between then and now, loving yourself, time doesn't have to be with a man. You
Oh,
can spend
no.
time by yourself
No,
and
but-
still be full.
Right, but how I was feeling then is that if you took yourself away, then I felt empty.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now,
Emptiness is not self-love. I just keep
Right.
hitting those points so we can,
Oh yeah, so get it out there. Yeah, that's the thing. So, but it all starts with identifying your upbringing and how you receive love and what's the difference in that. And that's why having a lot of time to yourself is really good.
And I
Because you get
appreciate
to really
it.
learn who you are, and that is so important. People used to preach this to me, and I just kind of let it go over my head.
Oh,
A little
be
level.
single a
You need
little
to find
while.
out. You need to find out what it is that you do and do not want.
Right.
What you will and will not allow. Those things, those 4 right there will help you out. Lord.
So
I agree. And I can honestly say
Oh,
moving
my
away
gosh.
opened my eyes to a lot of things that I wasn't even realizing when I was back at home. Like
you were
now,
in it.
right? Like now, I love myself a lot more. I don't tolerate things. I know what I'm gonna deal with, what I'm not gonna deal with. I've cut friendships off. I've cut some relatives off. I've cut people off
Whatever
where I
it
feel
takes.
like if you're not bringing joy my way, or if you're not even an asset to
Add
my life,
into my life.
right? If you're not an asset, period.
Goodbye.
Because I should add to your life and you should add to my life.
Right.
And some add,
See?
that not doesn't have to be monetarial, but something. Like when I see you, I just get inspired, empowered, or your
Right.
energy is just a bowl of light. I shouldn't be sad.
I get full
Yeah,
off of it.
exactly. If
You-
the people in your life aren't doing that for you, then cut them off.
Remember
because
we
they're
talked about that at
affecting
Christmas?
your ability to
Yeah,
love.
if they're around, as soon as the sight of them come
talked
around,
about that
you
at
start
Christmas.
feeling empty, like you just are depleted.
Ooh, or that person calls your phone. I used to have a couple of these. And I call them like they're like leeches. And so you could be in the
The
best
vampires
mood,
just
right?
suck the life
And
out
you know you pumped up, and all of a sudden that person gets on the phone. Before you know it, you've been on the call for 10 minutes just about the most worst drama, gossip. They miserable, and next thing you know, your day has shifted. Like the
and
atmosphere
you mad with people ain't
has
have nothing to do
shifted.
with anything.
Right.
The lady at the McDonald's window, you cussing her whole out.
Because now you thinking about last night when you and your dude got in an argument, but you had moved on, and now you done relapsed and went back to it.
Right.
All because this person's energy has taken you to a whole other place.
JoJo and I were talking about that at Christmas. We were just talking about how some people are really not happy for you. They just want to be in your presence to watch you fail. People really want to be around you to see you not succeed. You can be doing so well, and they're praying on the day, oh, I can't wait till you get to the point where you're going to need me, and you got to get those people out of your life.
Way.
People who you always constantly,
Including parents, like you just said with
Yeah.
your, like,
whoever.
yeah.
whoever you got to get rid of. You have to do it. Like,
You have to fight for your peace like you fighting somebody
And
in
a
the
part
street.
of that, y'all know I'm going to wrap it back around, is when you love yourself more, you don't let people deposit into you as if you're a dumpster.
right.
Like you're the garbage.
Like they're just putting all their trash inside.
Yeah,
of
keep
you.
your own trash. I got enough of my own. You know what I mean? I'm
Exactly.
trying to clean my own backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And loving yourself means that you clean your own backyard and you strive for, the life that you desire and the life that you deserve.
Right.
The things of your heart that you want.
Right.
And so when you love yourself, that means that you going back to school.
Right.
Because you know there's something that you want to become and you didn't do it yet. And so you're going to take that step to do it. You're going to be disciplined enough to say no to that cheeseburger because I want to be healthy. I love myself enough to be healthy.
Yeah, I
want to
live
fit.
longer, right?
You know what I mean? Exactly. I want to live longer. I want to live for my grandkids. And I want to do certain things. You love yourself enough to go get your passport and stop sitting on your behind
the world.
and waiting on somebody to hand it to you, which does not happen. When you love yourself, you look in the mirror and you love every curve and every blemish. Y'all know I like to make up words.
I'm like, wait a minute, I don't.
It's
A
not
dimpled blemish. A demish.
dimples and blemishes. You love every piece of that. And as I say that to you, I say it to myself because that's why I said I'm an 8 or a 9 some days, because I look in the mirror and I ain't happy, but that also means I love myself to make the changes so that I do feel like good like I used to when I get in there like pow, meow, ow. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Constance B, it's time for your inspiration, girl. I love this topic.
Yeah,
I
this
really
is a
did.
great one. This really is a great one. As all of them.
I know you got something good to go with it too.
Yes. So you guys know when you hear that music, it is CB's inspiration. Today's inspiration is all about loving yourself. You have to love yourself because no amount of love from others is significant to feel the yearning that your soul requires from you. In the deep, your soul requires that from you.
Yeah.
Because we are just flesh. Like, this is just the outer, right? But that soul,
Uh-oh.
a lot of people, this is the new thing. I'm in my bag, but how's your soul doing? How's that soul doing? Because you can have all the money in the world, as we've seen Kate Spade and so many others
Killing themselves.
have taken their own life because of just feeling empty, feeling depressed, feeling unworthy. So you can be in your bag, but make sure you fixing and securing that soul.
And before we go, if you don't love yourself, you can't expect nobody else to love you.
Say it one more time for the
If you
people in the
don't
back.
love yourself, you can't expect no one to love you. You have to love yourself first.
They will walk all over you like a piece of trash in the road.
Listen.
I'm
On that
serious.
note, we
No.
going on break.
Yeah.
It is. They'll run you over.
It won't look bad.
No, speed, run you over, back up, run you over again, and then drag you down the road.
Yes, and then talk about you for not getting back up.
What?
For real.
And then run you over again.
That's why I can't be dealing with these people. I feel that negative energy from a mile away, and I walk right past it. Boop.
Goodbye. Run you over. You tune into the Liberty Squeeze Show. We'll be right back, y'all.
That's right, y'all.
What I'm talking about love. Talking about love and happy, yeah. Talking about love and happiness. Love and yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. I stole your line again.
I know.
Love it. Oh my gosh. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
And in case you forgot the name, it's your girl JoJo Knows. These are our co-hosts. Beautiful, wonderful, magnificent Constance B and Miss 31.
Yes.
That's right.
And so, you hear that sound, you know what that means, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Love in relationships. I almost did my new yoga, like when you bring the thumb into the chest and you breathe and exhale. But okay, that's another show.
I was going to do
Okay.
it. I was doing
She'll
it.
show us some of her peaceful
Yes.
tricks to bring the peace in.
Oh my
Them
goodness.
young
drum
harder
out.
and get caught.
Before I bring up this topic, y'all need to breathe.
Breathe in.
When you breathe, I'm gonna teach y'all something that my yoga classes taught me. When you
Exhale.
breathe in, your stomach should go out, like push your navel out as far as it can go. And then when you breathe out, you should release the stomach to go in. That is the proper way of breathing.
What? So I don't know. What?
So when you breathe in, suck your stomach out. And then when you breathe out, your stomach should release. It's a different way of breathing.
I felt like I was gonna pass gas.
That just means you got gas. But I'm serious. That's the proper way to. That's the proper way.
That was a little too rough.
Girl, I'm glad you did, because I'd have been like, wait a minute.
I'm not gonna
That's
do
another
that.
show.
I'm not gonna do that.
It's another show.
That is so
Look, you can excuse yourself. We won't be mad.
Yeah,
So the
whatever.
topic, you guys. How do you know you're a side chick?
Oh, boom.
What do you mean? How do you know? Yeah.
I'm be real. You don't always know when
You don't
you're a
always
side
know, do
side
you?
chick because
That's true.
I was in a relationship and come to find out he had been in another relationship for 2 years.
I don't
Wow.
understand. That's a.
But the thing is, me and him kind of almost stayed together. That's why I never knew about the other chick.
That is so strange
To you.
to me. And I'm not saying because I've been in situations too. How does a person
I know.
carry on something like that? This is how I look at it. I love open, honest people.
Mm-hmm.
I love people who are for real, like real. You know that you like multiple partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So therefore, when you go into it with this person, right, you let them know, hey, I'm a swinger. I like to swing. And if you are part of that, then let's see how we can work this out. Or I'm a type of person where, you know, I'm not ready to settle down with one person. I actually enjoy my freedom. So if you're open to it, I would love for us to just, you know, cordially just date. But at the same time, there's no
Like
attachment.
an open relationship.
Let's have an open relationship. I do not like
Or
when
respect.
when people try to play, especially in your 30s and 40s, 20s. You get a pass in your 20s because you're just still trying to figure out life. You know what I'm saying? But
You don't get no pass.
for me, you do. But when you hit that freaking 30 mark where you done been through some relationships, you done been through some heartbreaks on both ends, you the one that got yours broken and somebody else, you done learn what's up.
Right.
Just keep it G and tell a person what's up. Don't be having Tony over here and you got John over here and you got John thinking that he's the only one.
Oh, you talking to the ladies?
Yeah, because women play these mind games a lot too, and because we are so slick, we can do it. But the thing about it is, it's something called karma, and when karma comes back, and when you finally got
You
somebody,
love that word.
because it's real. I done got bit too many times, and that's how I learned that karma is real. And when you finally have gotten yourself with somebody that you want to be yours, you cannot really get upset about
When they
finding
dog
out
you out.
that you're not the only one. Because look at the line of heartbreaks that you've broken
Yeah.
behind the same thing that you just got played on. You just got played the same trick on
Or,
you.
So
but
what
then
you saying-
there's some women who are on the other fence of that, and because he got dogged out or whatnot, or he was a dog, then she suffers because, you know, now he's this angry bird and he wants revenge, and now he
Angry
can't
bird.
settle down, and, you know, now he dates multiple women, and she actually is a good girl, not a player, who gets caught up with a bad guy.
Yeah, and that happens, but that's the sucky part, because then you get caught up with this. Now, it's so strange how, because of social media now, you can have a relationship at home and have a whole darn cyber
A
relationship.
cyber girlfriend,
Right.
a boyfriend. That's true.
And that person speaks with you on the social site, but then they don't, you never see them, and then just so you know, it's just strange how
So
people
that,
can
would you
really
be a sideline then, or would they be the sideline?
no.
That's like an
Well, see,
emotional
for me-
sideline, right?
It's
For
so
me,
weird.
how he got away with it, like I said, y'all all know I was a restaurant manager. And when you're a restaurant manager,
Work all kind of hours.
I work all day, all night. And there'll be times where I would literally go into work at 12 and not get off until 11 o'clock at night. That's a whole day.
Yeah.
He could do whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? So
Right.
when it happened, I'm like, okay, I see how you got away with it, because when I'm going to work for those long
Were y'all
periods-
together? Were you really like living? Y'all were together, or were
yeah,
you?
like together.
But wait,
But
I
you
got
weren't the
something for that.
sideline then.
And when you,
But-
when you, she's calling herself the sideline because he was with the other woman longer. That's
he was
what
with
I
the
think.
other one.
So, which is a good topic. Like, what makes
y'all
you the
was living
sideline?
together?
But who
Yeah.
who
But
was
no,
he living with?
you weren't the sideline.
No.
She
You
was
were
the sideline.
Yeah, she was the sideline, but because of your work hours and that lying son of a gun, it might have looked like you were the side, but y'all lived together.
According to the dictionary.
Well, he was with her longer. He was
Yeah, but
with
the side
her.
chick
The
dictionary, I'm
side
sure,
chick
says
gets it on
whoever
the side. He
the person's
lives,
living with.
Yeah, he lives
is
with
the
you.
main.
Is the main chick.
Oh, well.
So, girl, you was the main chick. You should feel a little bit better.
Then again, he probably had different hours. He was probably really living with
but
her.
That's what I'm
He worked
saying.
midnights.
I don't know
worked
what he
overnight.
had told her or anything. You know, when everything came out, I just walked away from it. Like, you know what?
Well, yeah,
But I also think for me, you guys, I think about the
I didn't
times
even
where
ask questions.
I
I
was-
didn't go deeper. I just
Oh, you better than me.
for real.
What
Walk
I
away.
was gonna say is times where I have like dated someone and they, told me like, oh, it was all about me, and I realized that it wasn't. I'm just saying in that instance versus being side chick and all that stuff. I noticed this later on, which I'm gonna tie it all back in our other topic. When you have a lack of self-love for yourself, there's certain things that don't trigger, like, or you pay attention to the signs,
right.
because you either avoid them or you give them a pass, you give them a Band-Aid, or you just don't see them the same when there's a lack of self-love versus when you love yourself. It's a whole lot of stuff that happens.
You pay attention to
Intuition.
everything, details and all.
Exactly.
You pay attention to everything.
And so how do you know
That's-
if you're a side chick? To me,
Right.
if you don't know you a side chick, then it's some self-love issues. It's like intertwining, because there's no way on earth you should not know that you're a side chick, because a side chick has a certain specific type of role.
You have a certain position. You don't call at certain hours. And even
He's
if you
not
try to
picking
call,
up the
he's not
phone
going to
at
answer.
certain hours. He's
You-
not over there at certain hours. Certain holidays he can't be with you. He don't bring you home to mama.
You don't go to church together, and you like.
It's right. So how you don't know you a sideline? Either you delusional or you just don't want to face the truth because you still want to kick
Right.
it with this guy and
you
so
want to keep.
accepting
You
what
rather
he's giving
keep
you.
this person instead of looking at the.
What did you
facts.
call it? Fairy tale.
Yeah, fairy tale.
Fairy tale love.
Living just, and that's so strange though that people that you really get caught up in something like that.
Have
And
you ever
it
been the
sucks when you
sideline
get
chick?
pregnant by somebody and you're the sideline. Now that's a whole nother ball game,
Oh.
especially if the wife still accepts him and then they still work their thing out as a
So-
family.
Y'all,
and
So
then-
you mean
y'all
like
might as well
the-
just get in the house together like the new show, Sister Wife.
Yeah.
That's
Are you
just-
talking about like how Kirk and Rashida are on Love and Hip Hop? How
I don't even watch that no more,
how
so I don't even know.
well he had a baby
Oh, that was so sad. Oh my
by a
god.
girl named Jasmine. He like after he had his last son with Rashida,
right.
cheated on Rashida, got the girl pregnant. And
That
then
was
now
really
they back
sad.
now Rashida and Kirk back together and
I think that's just for publicity, and that's a money thing. That's a money motivated.
No, I really
relationship.
no,
think
that
they-
baby is really his.
No,
like-
no, I said that's
Oh.
a money motivated relationship. We make more money together and appearing
Oh, okay, I
in the
got you.
public
Yeah.
eye together than what we
we
make
make
separately.
It's cheaper
And
to keep
because
'em.
we got a family, we got these kids involved. Let's just go ahead and not focus on the moral part of the situation, but we just
We gotta
bringing in
keep
this money.
this money.
But
flowing.
yeah, that's one thing and I don't know them personally.
Right.
And this is it's so funny I'm saying this because we were talking about this not on the show, but how we watch these reality shows and we get so like intertwined with them, and I'm about to be intertwined, so this is why I'm saying this. I really didn't get that. Like, there's a lot of stuff you watch a reality show, you like, oh, this scripted, or they practiced this before it went down, or they had a conversation. But that lady's pain was real and it was raw and it was
didn't see it.
undeniable, and they showed like the just
the DNA testing and all that
but
stuff.
the pain this woman endured, she showed, and she showed it to the world, and even her forgiveness was a process. And I truly believe like this woman like really didn't want to lose like her family, and it wasn't about the money. I just had to say that.
Well, I didn't see it, so I can't, respond to what everything was. But
you're right.
I
don't
just
think it's
don't.
about money.
Not this one. Not, a lot of them are.
Yeah. It's just and it's real. It's
You
just
just took a pause like you.
because I know so many
self-reflection.
situations.
Yeah, I had to
wanna,
look up.
I want
Like-
to talk about so many because I literally, I mean, like
Well, here's one you could talk about. Actually, was you ever a sideline chick? Side chick.
Yes, I was, but I was like,
But you knew.
yeah, like I was like 25, and this guy was a bit older, and so. Like you said, I didn't pay attention to stuff. Like, he'd pick me up. We hang out. It really wasn't, like, serious. You know, like, we're trying to build a family. Or it wasn't anything like that. It was just...
Yeah, we're dating. And
right.
you
I
didn't
just
pay
thought we were
attention to
just
certain
dating.
Stuff. Yeah.
But in all actuality, he had, like, a real deal woman. Like, and they were engaged. And to this day, they're still together. And if I'm somewhere or whatever, and he'll see me, and I just turn my head because... I feel that he was trying to put me in a position that I didn't ask to be a part of.
Right.
And I don't ever want to. I have so much now that I'm, just experienced a bit more. I ain't going to say older, but just experienced a bit more. I have so much respect for a woman and a man's relationship.
Right.
I have so much respect
Me
for a
too.
woman that's in a relationship. So it's so different for me now it's a lot different for me now when I see a person in a relationship. I don't cross that line. That's boundaries.
No, I feel you.
Because the pain that you feel when you find out that someone has betrayed you in such a way when you are giving it your all is undeniably painful.
And it's no
And
excuse
I don't
to
want
say
to be
that.
a part of that. Like, I don't want to be a part of nobody's pain. And again, karma.
Your
When I
favorite
get
word.
married, sister, don't let me see that number in my man phone or catch any whiff of anything, because you already know how I am. I'm coming about you.
Oh, you crazy.
I'm coming. I am coming.
I bet you sometimes you
I'm
guys
pulling up.
you guys are probably part of a woman's pain and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Because a guy's probably communicating with you in pretending that it's all good and normal maybe at the house because he's not coming on to you maybe in a sexual manner. But maybe to his woman, she knows him enough to know that he's communicating with you and that is not okay.
Right.
Because you guys are attractive women. And so sometimes
But you have to shut
guys
that
have
down.
those rules.
Right.
That you don't communicate on the side with attractive women.
Right, and that's good.
You know what I mean?
Like, that is. I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that, for a while, is what I was working on myself because I wanted to. If I asked you, do you have a woman? Okay,
Right.
there's no reason for you to text me unless we're doing like a project and it's strictly
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
business. It's strictly that.
Right.
But anything off course, I don't even entertain it. I shut
Right.
it down. This phone.
She
don't
must
ring.
think we're always talking to her like that because she doesn't answer any of
No,
our texts.
right.
Does she,
I
JoJo?
cannot.
No,
So she must think
She
we're
must
all.
think I'm trying to holler
must
at her.
think-
She's trying to respect Antoine because she does not respond to
By the
my
way, you know
text
that's a
either.
group text, right? We're all on it, so you just don't respond.
Right. It's so funny. You'd be like, Constance.
At the
She's
talk,
like, they're
at
trying
the
to get with
talk
me.
jump.
They're trying to get with me.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep
But you
their,
gotta
no,
shut it
their
down,
home
though.
happy.
I'm with you.
You gotta shut that down. When
You
you're-
But
have
you do
to.
have to.
Yeah,
You
you
really
have,
do.
You got to shut it down because what I've learned with guys is that you give them this
You can't
much
be
room
nice.
of-
Give them
of
an
nice,
inch, they'll take them out.
and then all of a sudden they're just like all in, and you're like, no, brother, you.
That's not what I meant.
Well,
I was not flirting
yeah.
with you. I don't want you to come over and I don't want you to give me nothing.
Look,
You
you
know, I
even
don't
smile
want
at a
none
guy
of
that
yours.
think you want to have sex with him. That's just
Yeah.
guys just have that weird ego like that.
But it's for us as women to also protect one another. Is how
Very much.
I've
But you
And don't get so upset because a man cheated on you to now you're in this place where you don't care about
Yeah,
taking
bitter.
somebody else's man because
Well,
you're
they
really
didn't- they didn't care
bitter
about
and
me.
you need to heal yourself.
Right.
Like, because one
hear
is
that.
karma and two, you're not really happy. You're just
Right.
really
You're just
broken
doing it, right.
She's saying
and
karma.
angry and you need healing.
I hear that all the time. Believe it or not, on live.
I
it's
cheat
so crazy.
because, I got cheated on.
Some girl was on live one day and she seriously made this statement. She was like, telling, where she was gonna be and what she was doing, and she was like, and I don't, nobody ain't look out for me when I was in a relationship, so I'm not worried about it now.
Like, your man is not off limits. You know how
Exactly.
disgusted I get when I hear another woman saying
and
that?
I'm like, are you serious?
Why
Like,
would you want to be second base? Why would you want to be second, third? Like, you should want to be first. You should want to be the only. Like, no.
Some people are okay with just being seconds best.
That is not
Because you know why?
acceptable.
Go back to the first
Self-love.
topic. Self-love.
Self-love.
And
will
with
make
that
you
being
only
said,
be. Number one.
Number one and only.
That's right. Number one and only.
With that being said,
Self-love. What a topic. Oh my goodness. We determined there are levels to self-love and continue to work on them so you can reach the tip top of them so that you reap all the benefits of what self-love has to offer, which is just happiness, joy, fulfillment, fullness. I can go on and on about it. In addition, how do you know you're a side chick? You know if you're a side chick. Let's just be real with yourself. Tap into, what's really going on with somebody, and more importantly, what's going on with yourself to allow you to be in this position when you deserve more. You deserve to be the one and the only.
That's right.
I don't know what to say, y'all. I don't want the show to end. It's the last one. Oh, not
It's
the
not
last
the
one.
last
Not the last one, but for
You mean it's the last
today.
segment?
Yes, what I meant. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love you guys.
It was such a joy.
Thank you
Love
for
you
tuning
all.
into the Lemon Squeeze Show. Make sure
Yes,
you
yes.
follow us, share it with your friends, send us topics. We want to talk about what you all are interested in, what's going on in life with women or men, what you want to know about us women. When I put the topic up, someone said, a man, hey, talk about something that's not man bashing. I was like, we don't man bash, we just keep it real. I mean,
I don't think you guys ever man bash.
we
No,
actually
we don't.
You man promote.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
anything, we try to
We
help the
help
women.
y'all out. Shoot.
Right. We're trying to make your woman better for you. Sorry.
And you better for her.
Right.
That's what JoJo knows.
In the process of making us better too.
Bye, y'all.